Welcome to Roll Aim Lift, where cutting edge technology meets the battlefield expertise of hardened tactical professionals. Join your hosts, Igia and Bo, as we explore the innovative tools and strategies shaping the future of defense and security. Get ready for insights, interviews, and in depth discussions that bridge the gap between tech and tactics.
And action. I don't know how we're going to cut that out.
I don't know.
Are we just going to keep putting my stupid antics on at the beginning? Okay.
Kind of needed after.
Yeah, for sure. So, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Roll Aim Lift podcast. I almost forgot the name of our podcast because it's been that
3.
That's been that kind of a day. Yeah, episode 3.
This is like 5 hours overdue.
Had the introduction, right? The whole, your source for all things fitness, all things shooting, and tactics. So it's kind of what we're on today. We're running low on fumes. So
we're supposed to talk about
let's get into it.
Campus Guardian Angel.
Yes.
Or formerly Mithril Defense, all right? Then cutting new age of kind of like CQB, active shooter response, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the new implementation of drones into the schools or, large areas where people gather for things where, bad guys do nefarious bad guy things, trying to cut out and mitigate some of the response time and getting eyes on target, all that good stuff. So we're going to get into it. We're going to try our best.
You want to get into that or you want to get into what happened?
Let's get into what happened.
Let's get nasty.
Or we could just talk about it and let it naturally and organically come up.
I mean, because like divorce is about to happen over this. So, one time, well, actually, Bo over here got all this new equipment. Fancy.
We got new equipment,
and then it's all hooked up.
Yep.
We're in the Roll Aim Lift.
We got a cool camera.
Podcast.
We got a
area
new spot for the show.
Yep. I mean, we're so excited because we had so many things.
99% of the way there.
Can we even say 99? I think it's
we're 99% of the way there.
It's just
then you stick these two meatheads together with a bunch of software.
I put it like this. You know how we were in a SWAT briefing and they were like, okay, this is the layout of the house. 1 and 2 is going to go left, right, whatever like that we're doing. Then as soon as we get there, nobody does exactly what's supposed to happen.
That's how I feel at USPSA matches. Like I'll have my stage plan, I'll do my walkthroughs and do all the cool fun stuff, and then the RSO will be like, all right, shooter ready. I nod my head, stand by, beep, and then my brain just goes white. And I'm like, hey, look, there's targets I'm supposed to shoot. I'm supposed to do something with this gun that's in my holster, and I just go full potato. And I kind of feel like that's what's going on today. So we got the computer hooked up, we got a mixer, we got mics, we got mic stands, we got all these cords running all over the place, we got a camera, we got all this cool, fun stuff.
None of it works.
And we can't get it to work consistently or together. And I am a dumb knuckle dragon street cop.
I think that makes 2 of us.
I didn't want to say it because I don't want to put words in your mouth.
Retired. You got further than I did, so we need those Mithril Defense.
We need some smart people.
Guys. They were really smart.
We need smart people.
Yeah.
Like we're smart about some things. Like we're more good at stuff than other people, but we're not more good at this.
Technology wins every time.
But we're working on it.
I barely know how to work the MDCs and the police cars and stuff like that.
We're learning.
The little computers.
It's a struggle.
Yeah.
The struggle's been real.
I have a beef. I forgot about this. So we're doing 1-for-1 reloads. And I make an appearance at the range for his class.
Yeah, doing a rifle class this week.
We're doing a rifle class. Great, training and everything like that. I tried to miss the first day, so I didn't have to do any dry firing.
We did dry fire on the second and third day because dry firing's
bread
and butter of your training.
So it was beautiful. But get there, and instead of the whole class has been doing drills the whole 2 days before I got there, or 1 day, he wants to come to me.
Yeah, you first.
And what happens?
Double feed
straight out the gate. Straight out the gate, double feed. But I redeemed myself, came back and got sub 3, sub 2.
I think it was sub 2. Yeah, it was
like
just a hair over 1. Yeah, it was dumb fast. I was impressed.
I appreciate it. I wish I would have
But
done
that's
it
why
on
I
the
went
first
to you,
one.
like just to add on that little bit extra stress component. I mean, that's what competition breeds.
You were all the
Competition,
way on the other side of the line too.
competition,
It's like Sweetie's over
competition.
there.
He's like, all right, cool. He's not coming over here.
I'm chilling.
And then I was like, he looked at me. It's like a homeless person, like when you're walking down the sidewalk, and you see him like walking by with that
Trying not
cup,
to look.
and they're like, pennies for your thoughts, sir. Right, like jingling the cup at you. And if you don't make eye contact, typically you're okay. Like if you just like side eye them, it's like it's all good. But if you like make that like too much lingering eye contact,
Oh, that's the invite.
they're
to come
locked
over.
in and they'll like deviate from whichever direction they're going. Like they can feel it. Like it's like moms back in the day, right? Like I would do or say something as soon as she'd turn around and she'd be like, "Don't do that," and I'd be like, "How? You weren't even looking."
Yeah, I think that's just
Just like sixth
yeah.
sense. But
Just
for
she
getting-
knew it, all the times you've done it before. She
100%.
just threw it out
Yeah,
there, and
100%.
most likely
Just-
he's gonna win.
yeah.
I mean, I wish like Richmond had some. We had a whole bunch of homeless guys and stuff like that out there, but none of them like Ezel off of Friday. You know what I mean? No one was like slipping in the liquor store and saying it's his birthday, having fun and stuff like that. But if I do, like I used to play like Bad Boys over the intercom or something like that in the middle of the night, or
Yeah.
some type of music, and guaranteed you some crackheads come out of the bushes out of nowhere and just start fucking like dancing, just start going to town.
Where's cameraman?
Right? Kenny Man.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's been a day.
Mhm.
So to the Campus Guardian Angel stuff, which is what we're supposed to talk, and we're gonna really try to stay on track and topic here because that was kind of what my brain's running on like out of
Wiley
the
X
3
and
brain
whiskey.
cells that I had, I have one, maybe half of one left, so it's real. I'm also gonna say that I wasn't gonna say anything and just let the comments do the commenting, but we're wearing matching shirts and it's awesome and I love it.
Yes. We're cool old.
Same,
All we down
But
to the
different,
sleeves.
but still same. So, anyways, I like our matching shirts.
Right,
care what
I like
anybody
it too.
says.
Thank you for getting them. You know what I mean? We have Ani's making some more for us, so
Oh, sweet.
yeah, we'll get some more stuff off on there too.
So, so just kind of the premise of the Campus Guardian Angel aspect, right? With the thing we came here to talk about. So their program and their process is basically setting up pre-stage drones in schools or in businesses or whoever wants to contract them out, essentially, right? And that's something that we've used on the TAC side for a long time, whether it's in patrol operations, whether it's in SWAT operations, or like looking for the lost dog or the lost kid, or bad guys doing nefarious bad guy things that go run off into the brush, right? We've been doing that for a hot minute, but the problem with the way that we've been implementing it is, you have the 5 guys on patrol, or 6 or 10 or 15 or whatever the number is, and one of those guys is typically assigned as like the drone guy that can fly the drone, all that good stuff. So that starts to cut down on your manpower. And one of the things that they've done, coming from one of the main guys that runs it, Bill, he has a pretty deep background in the special warfare, special operations community, and
they always got overhead
on the Navy side, and kind of wanted to implement the way that the units that he was with in the SEALs would like use combat controllers or JTAC and all that good stuff, where they'd have like the UAVs and close air support and all that good stuff, and that wasn't tying up an operator, a team member to run the drone or do the thing.
Well, they got MOSs for that specifically.
For sure.
That's their jobs. That's all they do.
And so essentially kind of what they've done is they've taken the remote piloted drone aspect and kind of championed that initiative on their side. So they'll come in, set the drones up, and then it's like plug and play. They'll run scenarios while the business is closed, or while the school's out of session, or whatever the case may be, and they'll map out the school and like start learning the schools. And these drone pilots are some of the wickedest drone pilots.
Well, they were flipping upside down. We tried it and we were horrible at it.
was
We
a
couldn't even
nightmare.
turn. I almost broke it. I almost ran into a power line.
Yep.
Yeah.
And a basketball goal.
Yep.
That was me.
I was-
a basketball goal in
I
a
was
tree.
honestly trying to make it inside the hoop though.
I got yelled at
Yep.
by a drone pilot when I was flying the drone, because I saw a guy walking on the sidewalk, and I was like, hey, let's go fly by this guy. And they were like, hey, how about we don't do that? And I was like, but I think it would be funny. And they're like, yeah, we don't want to get in trouble. And I was like, all right, that's fair.
Yeah, who cares? They ain't
So
gonna say anything.
we're zipping around, I'm trying to zip around with the drone. It's like watching like a baby giraffe try to walk for the first time, and the drone's doing all this like crazy bonker stuff. And I'm almost running into poles. I probably ran into some stuff. But these dudes are, like flying up and down hallways, going inverted from like a first floor to a second floor. The premise of what their operations and their goal is, you hit the panic button, like the, oh no, bad guy's doing bad guy things, right? Or the call comes in, the 911 call, to get law enforcement spun up. And our average response time is like 6 to 7 minutes, across the country, right? Like the national response average. And that's kind of right the gap that they're trying to fill. So you get the call comes into dispatch, the call comes in 911 call center, whatever, or they hit the bad things are happening button, and the drones kick out, and they're remotely piloted, based out of Austin. They don't need boots on the ground.
It could be nationwide.
They can do nationwide. They can be, wherever, detached from the site and start getting visibility on the problem set that's in front of them, right? So they can triangulate, they can get outside drone coverage, they can get interior drone coverage, they can get a bunch of visibility and situational awareness to the police as they're responding, and give them some real time intel on to what's happening.
Basically, you always want to get eyes on first, right? I mean, all the times we respond to shots fired calls and stuff like that, if it's not an active shooter, you always want to get a long eye on it. And that's what I hate when I used to have my trainees and they're going to the scene. It's like, all right, look, we're going to be first ones here. This is our beat. This is what's going on. Let's get a long eye in so we can either guide them in, and we can set up a perimeter. So that way, if the guy decides to run or the person decides to run, we're going to put it up. And we've been using technology with tactics forever. I mean, even as a combat engineer, we're using the Talons and all that kind of stuff to help with the C4 and be able to see in places where we didn't really want to go to because we knew it was a high threat. You know what I mean? So basically, if you could put eyes on first ahead, it's good to go.
Yeah, the big thing, like the takeaway that I had, golly, I'm stuttering like today, Junior.
Yosemite Sam.
So Billy Madison.
Was it Foghorn Leghorn?
Yeah, yeah.
I got a Foghorn Leghorn story, man. That stuff is hilarious. I'll tell you later.
All right.
I don't want to bounce out. All my
bogged down more than we already
all my
are.
Richmond crew is probably laughing their ass off right now.
Man, yeah. Today's hard. So, the big thing that I, first initial impressions of it, and it was like, hey, here's what we're gonna do. This is the concept and principle. We're gonna take these drones, stick them in the school or stick them in this space, and then we're gonna kick them out and deploy them and remotely pilot them from somewhere else. And I was like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Like what? Come on, man.
I mean,
I'm sitting there thinking like, cool, like good idea. Fairy showed up. Good idea. Fairy doing good idea. Fairy things. And then the other aspect that I was thinking about is like, that sounds expensive, right? So both those things aside, right? After hitting it with the drones when we did that training in Austin the other day, working the CQB application, working the implementation of it, and getting a little bit more warm and fuzzy with them, I was like, this is pretty cool in the aspect of being able to get eyes on. I wish we could communicate with the drones, and that's one of the things that we're trying to work through. Still in the baby steps phase, but
it's the nonverbal cues. That
some of the stuff that we were getting into, and I don't want to give out tactics, but there was stuff that we had talked offline about the drone pilots with, about, hey, these are the things that like I noticed that drove my attention to a certain area.
Yep.
And when they started implementing those things, even if it was an intentional or unintentional thing, that really like helped develop that that skill set. And it goes like with anything, like you got to get reps with it, like with your pistol, with your rifle, to get that over familiarity and like overdevelop those hard skills. but some of those little things that we made minor adjustments to where we didn't have like the verbal communication, we had a bunch of nonverbal.
Yep.
Even though the drones are super loud and like we're not doing like stealthy ops or anything like that, but little things that drove our vision to where we needed to go, and like, hey, this is where bad guys doing bad guy things, able to close the gap and kind of triangulate and force them into a specific area with the drones was pretty sweet. So it was cool getting to work with them and kind of see it firsthand as how legitimate it was.
I think it's hard to talk about it without giving them a picture of it. It's it's not giving off too much, but basically it's kind of working like if you're using a canine. So if you're using canine within a tactical team, so the tactical team allows the dog to clear up to where they're gonna clear up and secondary check on and verify that nothing's there.
Yeah.
So you're trusting this autopilot guy who doesn't have very much experience, but their head guy is one of the top tiered, tip of the spear freaking people. But how does he pass that down to people?
Right.
And we're going through the whole rooms and we're going through the whole school or the building or whatever like that it is. And we're doing the way we're doing it. But then that's messing them up because in the beginning, they're stopping right in the doorway.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So when we're coming in, we're getting buzzed, we're getting hit. I mean, I lost a couple of hair and some chunks on my legs and stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's if a girl doesn't have enough money for waxing, I mean, just come to one of our trainings and it takes off all the hair. You know what I mean? But I mean, we're hitting that and we're going through. Then we talked out. It was like, hey, you need to go deeper into the room. And these drones are big drones. They could take a body out. So. One
and
we're using for eat. Yeah, they do. They took a couple people out. They put a couple people in the hospital. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Silky down. We got to get a bit silky down.
So like kind of what we're talking about, the thing with the drones is like with the implementation of them, like if law enforcement hasn't gotten there, even if they're getting there and they're starting to close the gap and start to deal with the bad guy, one of the things that their pilots are trained to do is like kinetic strikes with the drone.
Yep.
And they'll take these drones and like
bust through windows,
pop windows, or bad guys doing bad guy things in the hallway, and they'll fly the drones into them at 40, 50, 60, sometimes 70 miles an hour. Like these things can get moving.
Less lethal attachments.
And I mean, how much do you think these drones weigh? Like the small drones that are doing like the kinetic strike stuff.
Oh, that is like
they're maybe
3 pounds at the most.
Maybe a couple ounces, right? Maybe under a pound, maybe 2. Like they're not very heavy. And the way that I frame it, this is just kind of like the way I frame it in my simple brain, right? Like you take a pretty good like D1 AA pitcher, or even like a high school pitcher that's throwing 60, 70 mile an hour fastballs.
Yeah.
And you take a fastball to the chest. Like it's probably not going to kill you, but I don't want to raise my hand and be like, hey, Johnny, send it.
But the best part about the whole thing is they challenge you, be like, oh yeah, everybody always says, oh, just shoot it down.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're a really good shot. I'm pretty good. I'm just really rusty. We both went out there, and then, actually, it was us and another spec guy that did it as well, and we got one tag on it. And we had like multiple rounds flying down range on us.
I think I hit it more than that, but even when I was shooting it right there, because we're shooting with some simunitions. Weren't leaving paint marks because they were man marking rounds. I'm fairly confident that I hit it.
I hit that.
Here was the takeaway that I had, right? So like, even though like maybe I was 20, 30% accurate putting shots on target, I had to be so visually disciplined to the target and sucked in. Like everybody in that room could have either left
your surroundings
or moved up and stood right behind me or to my 3 and 9 o'clock. And I would have had no idea that I was getting ready to be like jumped on by everyone, or that I was left in the room completely and utterly by myself.
And that's a point they make too, because you're so concentrated on that drone just flying around, just bothering the mess out of you.
Yeah.
And you're trying to hit that, and then you're blind to anything that's coming up on your course.
And if you want to hit it, like there's like I lost complete and utter situational awareness trying to shoot this stupid drone out of the sky.
Yep.
And then afterwards, I was like, yeah, I hit it. That was awesome. But it also wasn't flying at me. There was just one in the room. Like, and the idea, the concept and principle is to have like 2 or 3 inside the room, either with the the visual distraction and the audible distraction, and then the physical distraction of like the kinetic strikes. Like I couldn't imagine trying to hit one drone or 3 drones as one's trying to hit me. Because even when they were like even when they were like flying by me, knowing that they were on our team, I was like,
Yep.
you know, especially at first, it's like, because it's like something new, right? I mean, I'm the same way. Like I've never cleared or done work with a dog.
That stuff is crazy with a crazy dog, bro. You're watching over every time.
And I know if a dog were to pop up, like start working with a dog, I'd be the same way. I'd be like, I really like all of my skin and muscle and flesh where it is, and I don't want it detached from my body because I don't want, you know, to look like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, right?
Man, clearing with a dog is it's a real trust factor that you're trusting in the canine and you're trusting in the handler. So if you don't like your handler, and sometimes they send them in because
we'd be in trouble because I don't like
I was a canine handler, and my dog bit me in the butt because it was a leash correction. Went out, it got caught up on my leg when we were working on long lead. Came back and took a nip out of my butt. Then I also have a mark right here on my chest, right next to my nipple. So I have 3 nipples. But you know, it's But we had a dog named Cash, and the handler was like 6'8", 300 pounds, big dude. And they got in a fight to where somebody lost an eye.
Oh. And
that dog was never the same. It was like a rocket missile coming in. Every time you come in, I swear, you brace like this and you pray that dog doesn't bite you. And it made it worse that it only had one eye, so you only can see like one side of the whole room. So you're going through there. So you're like, hey, bro, I hope I'm not in your vision because you're like zone locked in on me.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, so that's one of the things about clearing a room with a dog. It's better being the handler.
Yeah. The big thing, like to the drone piece, like even with the dogs, like it's a, you know, everything's one of those deals. Like it's always uncomfortable doing new things, right? Yep. So it was the comfort piece for me, like kind of getting some reps in and kind of seeing how like the force multiplication aspect worked, and it was fantastic. The part that I think that people can be apprehensive about is how and what that like implementation looks like, right? So the pilots aren't just like have free access to the cameras and stuff like that at the schools and all that. So there's a privacy aspect that people are concerned about, right? Which is completely understandable because I'm the same way. Like the only time that they're allowed access is like during designated like training times when nobody's there and you know, either the campus is closed or the businesses, if people are off site and all that good stuff. But what they do is they go and map out the school or the location and do like a 3D map, and then they have a giant warehouse where they'll have that 3D mapping done, and it's just a big empty space for where they go. And then they'll fly those drones, you know, in the simulator, and the drones stay parked at the school or at the business, wherever they need to be, so that the pilots can get reps, you know, running in that simulated scenario. So that's kind of the good space of like where I kind of see like the technology being more beneficial in that, so that they can learn, you know, that specific area. Like, hey, these are our hard spots. These are the difficult areas. These are the easy areas. These are the medium areas, and kind of getting super familiar with each of those spaces to kind of get that level of understanding in.
Well, I mean, everybody talks about this whole level of privacy thing. It gets to the point to where it's like, okay, look, you have Instagram, you have social media, and you put way more information out than you would.
It's and people only because it's something they want to talk about.
I know that's their cue, but you can shut it down real quick. You know what I mean? You drive around like the license plate readers. Okay, we're leading. If you have a warrant and you ain't paying your tolls, that's what they're really worried about. They don't care about it because everybody has that. I mean, I guarantee you the DMV is way more lenient on giving people's information out than anything. You know what I mean? So they're not setting these drones out when nothing's going on. They're not going through like when there's passing period and the kids are in the hallways. They're not coming out.
Yeah,
they're coming out. If you hit the button, all privacy's out because you need safety, right? So the level of expectation of your privacy. I used to hate going to like people and like, oh, it's going through my trash can. I was like, hey, bro, that's not in your curtilage of your place anymore. You put it out there to get disposed of. So what privacy are you referring to? You know, it's just like that. If there's an emergency, I need help. Who cares about privacy? Give me that edge to go get somebody with that couple extra seconds, because we get there, we have people rushing at you, grabbing at you, yelling. You're trying to ask them which way the shooter is, where's the issue at, what's going on. You got people screaming. You're trying to follow a blood trail. Then the way the sound reverberates off of the halls and stuff like that. I've been there where people were grabbing on you. I've been running through crowds and you can't see me because you have your eye can only concentrate on so many things, and you have so many people running past you.
So much, yeah. There's a ton going on.
So if I can get someone that's able to drone overhead, hit something, or blink a couple twice, and I can focus on that, and I can get to it, why wouldn't you want that?
Yep. No, I agree. It's the same thing of the safety over convenience, right? I think that's kind of where some of the disconnect is, and this is something we could spend the whole time talking about, is the convenience versus safety aspect, right? Because there's a difference between like safety. Like if we wanted to, I'm in the space of like, I don't want our schools to be like prisons, or I don't want our businesses to be like prisons, right? Because like, how are you going to get customers if you have to look at the customer and be like, hey, put your ID in the ID scanner.
Yep.
Let me make sure that you run through this facial recognition software. And then I'm going to let you into the secure vestibule where we're going to do this x-ray check to make sure you don't have any guns, bombs, or, nefarious bad guy tools on you. Right. And then I let you into the next little secure area, and then we do a pat down. Right. And then you get to come in and be like, hey, here's your mocha frappa chocolate drink that you want, right? You take 20 minutes to go through and make sure that, you're not going to shoot up the coffee shop to get your $7 coffee, right? There comes to a point where like I have to have a little bit of like convenience, right? Because like I don't want to, like if people were super concerned about the safety piece, like, it's a convenience thing. So anyways, that's, oh no, where that went.
Can I ask you a question?
Full potato.
Have you ever seen a gangster with a coffee?
I've seen a lot of meth heads with coffee.
Really? I didn't even think about that one. But I was in a gang unit for like 3 years. So 3 years into it, we have this conversation all the time. It's like, hey, you've never seen a gangster with a coffee, right? And that was my stand. I was like, I've never seen gangsters don't drink coffee. They're not going to go to Starbucks or anything like that. So one day we have a homicide on North Richmond. I don't
think I've ever seen a gangster with a coffee.
Bro, neither have I. But we got it. It was a homicide in North Richmond. And then we're rolling up on scene. We get everybody back. Everybody's yelling. You know how it goes when everybody's yelling and trying to get to, oh, that's my baby. Oh, that's Juju or whatever like that. You know what I mean? And I'm pushing everybody back. We start taking videos because usually the shooter sometimes stays there and watches and sees what's going on and see if you kind of have like a clue what's going on and
Jeffrey
stuff like
Dahmer
that. Thing. Yeah, right.
Little Jeffrey Dahmer vibes.
And what happens? Gangsters and roll up in the car, and like these dudes had bodies on them, like 3 or 4 bodies on them. We just can't prove it on them. You know what I mean? So they're still out on the street with the biggest, pinkest, fruitiest frappuccino foo-foo drinks ever you can think of. And my buddy looks at me.
Choca bullshit.
Yeah, Riri looks at me. He's like, "You just lost that bet." I see you get with Starbucks. I was like, "Huh, holy shit!" All right, but I'll give him that one.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
I can't. No, I. That's a legitimate question. Like I can't think of. And now, so when you say coffees, I'm thinking of, like you're on the grind, your Dutch Bros, like.
But they don't have that.
Like the bougie little coffee spots, right?
They don't get no bougie than that pink. And
100%. I agree. Yeah, like Starbucks, all those like the coffee, like the standalone coffee shops. Now I've seen some a little bit different, like the things that I primarily dealt with, like the gangsters and stuff, or like the AB guys and Peckerwoods and the white supremacist type folk, and a little bit of the cartel stuff, right? Zetas and, Mexican mafia, all that shenanigans from my previous agency days, and some of the prison gangs and whatever, but mainly like Hispanic gangs. And I've seen some of those like white supremacist guys drink some coffee, but I wouldn't say, no, this is no knock on Valero or gas station coffie, because there's some that
actually like Valero,
some that is good, some that is bad.
You mix it with hot chocolate, it's delicious.
Like I've had some gas station hot coffee that was probably there for like 2 or 3 days, or like a day or two.
Still
It
comes
just
out
comes,
the
like
same.
it pours out like in
It probably just comes out
like
faster.
in Men in Black where it comes out and it looks
Like
like
sludge?
soup. Yeah, like, it's like that. And I was like, maybe not.
You got like the
I've
bottom
seen
of
them
the
drink
barrel.
that, but nothing. I can't think of a time where I've seen them drink like Starbucks or on the ground or any of that stuff.
Yep, they rolled up with that, and I had to eat my words on that one. So I
Yeah.
don't think I'm not better, but that was the one time I was like, you'll never see that, and sure enough,
Not after today, though. I
Right.
meant after today. Yeah, not those guys. The other ones.
Yeah,
So.
I didn't mean to derail you though, but that was
No, yeah,
I just popped up in my head
Yeah.
and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
yeah. So I think it was good. Like, I'm glad you derailed me because it was kind of, I was going off on a security, like an unexplainable tangent that I don't even know where it came from.
Well, let's ask. So what do you think, tactics wise? Because now you have to change up your tactics going into this room, and relying in on this drone to go ahead of you, and then you have someone who's good at video games, but doesn't have the tactical mind like we're thinking. Why we move so methodical? Why we clear those hard corners? Why we go in first? Take the least path of resistance off of that.
Well, I think if as a gun carrying professional, right? Whether coppers or SWAT guys or on the tack side, or the mill side, right? Like being a gun carrying professional, doing the things in like a team environment, the implementation of new technology or a redistribution of like old technology, like dogs have been around for a few days now, right? So getting to know how to work with that new tool, right? The drones, the new tool is like, you still have to have a deep understanding and like a solid understanding of the concepts and principles of like speed, surprise, violence of action. Whether you're doing that in a methodical search and clear, or whether you're doing that in a driving direct to threat clear, like if you understand the concepts and principles, the rest is I don't want to say an easy day. It's simple, right? Just because it's simple doesn't mean it's easy.
Yeah.
So I think as long as you understand the concepts and principles, it's easy to make the adjustments, or it's simpler to make the adjustments to using the dog or using the drone or using some sort of third party, force multiplier or Overwatch or whatever, to where they're kind of directing you to where the potential threat is and kind of eliminating a lot of the unknowns, right? So I think that's, if you have a good understanding of the concepts and principles, and an overdevelopment of hard skills, it takes out the subjectivity piece of like how I feel about the way that I clear the room, or how I feel about the way that I run the gun, or how to get the firearm up into the fight, or dealing with the hands-on application. Like if I have an understanding of how to run the gun, how to run my hands, how to run, my tactics, I let the concepts and principles and the environment dictate my tactics, not my tactics dictate everything that I do. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
So I think if you understand where, like, what the baseline is, like your fundamentals, the tactics can change with the environment or with the tool.
What's ever evolving?
Yeah, 100%.
And it's, I mean, look at it. We've gone from musket for Minutemen, be able to see the person on the other side of the battlefield with drums coming down and hitting each other, to slinging fire rocks and cannonballs. Yeah,
with the trebuchet.
And then you go to trench warfare. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Then now, as you have, what do they call it? The 360 or 480 or whatever. What is it? The 760 warfare, war zone, wherever you get. It's above
540, 720.
Yeah, around you, everywhere.
The only reason I know all that is because of Tony Hawk. I used to play that. I used to play that on PlayStation all the time, and there's like 360, 540, 720,
like, I don't know, you know,
right? Like, it's just how the circles work, right?
Yeah.
This is all the.
I used to have a lieutenant colonel. Every time for like COB, end of a formation, we used to hate going down there and talk to him. So he used to say, if you're thinking about getting in trouble for this weekend, do a 360 turn and run away. And we're all thinking in our head, like, bro, if I do a 360 turn, I'm right back where I'm at and I'm running towards it.
Yeah.
So what am I talking about?
What's the problem?
Yeah, but no one really wanted to tell him. We all kind of
Like, do I turn
laughed
around
about
and
it.
like, is that 180 degrees around
Yeah, it's
and
like
then 180 degrees up? So like, you want me to die?
I think he
Or
means
is that?
I think he means run the other way. I think that's what he's trying to say, but he's saying just do a
Oh,
full circle. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I guess you can't hit me if I do a full circle. So who knows?
it's a spin around.
But we're legally.
So we're gonna get away from it. That's stupid.
Here I am, though. There I go. I'm
the
gone.
best
Oh,
thing.
I'm back again. You know, but
that's leadership.
right? They're the ones that's telling us, hey, this is when, wow, we don't listen to them.
Oh my gosh.
But you got to look at the bet. We're legally bound. We only can cheat so much, right?
Yep.
The judges keep us in check, even with a search warrant. If it's
Yep.
something that we knew we have probable cause to go into a house,
Yep.
there's only so much we can do.
Yep.
But if there's an active event, you're creating your own exigent circumstances, and that's what you're doing. You're going in hot, right?
Yep.
So if you're going in hot, it's kind of a gray line. You're making case law, basically, as you go in there. Case law has been mandated saying, hey, if there's an active event where life is in danger or you believe it's in danger, you can go in there. I mean, look at the felony run rule. The felony run rule used to be is like if you knew a person created a felony and they're just committed a felony and they ran, and it has the potential of danger for life to kill somebody else, you can shoot them in the back.
Yep.
Can't do that no more. You do that, basically you shoot somebody nowadays.
You just have to be able to, you just got to be able to articulate the propensity for violence and the continuation of it. And there's a whole, that's a whole nother thing.
But they took that away with immunity. It's something where, so now, you have a great company that's coming about and they're saying, hey, we're trying to eliminate this. We're trying to save this person. That's basically what they're doing.
Yep.
They're saving lives, saying, hey, this person's going there. Now I can have a more strategic plan that's going in there. It's just like porting windows. If I know you're in a certain part of the house and you're known to have guns, if I can get guns in on that window, port that window and surprise you and take away that threat before you can get to that gun. Because if I have to clear you, so I have 45 pounds of gear on at least, coming through this hallway, have to yelling for 30 seconds, search warrant, Richmond search warrant, open the door, and I have to give you a chance to open the door before I hit the door. You know I'm there. Everybody knows that. The neighbors know I'm there. How many people come out at nighttime and start vacuuming when they're,
World Star.
vacuuming? Yeah.
World Star.
Right?
Yeah.
Late at night. How many times can I tell you at 3:00 in the morning when we hit a house, people are coming outside walking their dogs?
Yep. It's a weird time.
Everybody, it's a weird time. Yeah.
I don't walk my dog at 3 a.m.
3:00, the witching hour? No way.
No,
I try to stay away from that stuff.
No. My dog would look at me and be like, nah, bro. I ain't getting up.
What's your overall consensus of using drones inside of a
man? I was on the other side of the fence at the beginning. I was like, this is some tomfoolery. This ain't gonna work. Yeah. Right. I was like, I legitimately was, like open-minded and optimistic, right? Hopefully optimistic. But I think initially I was doubtful. And then after kind of running with them, my big thing was like, there's some limitations, right? Like with everything. Yep. But the overall was solid in the aspect of like being able to get eyes on sooner, right? And the data collection piece for forwarding to guys that were responding, or at least like the surprise concept and principle, right? Like it's in the name, that whole thing. The surprise piece of like the distraction for the potential threat. So I'm super impressed. Like it was awesome. Like I'm all about it. Like I want to get some more rep in, some more work, and just kind of see where it goes. Cause we've used them on the SWAT team, for a hot minute now. And it was always great. Like, dealing with a barricade or, I don't want to say like hostage situation, because I've never been on an HR, but doing, the barricade stuff, somebody potentially held up in a house and we pop a window, drop a drone in, like off a ground drone, off a flying drone, and getting eyes on like as much intel as you can possibly get, seeing as much of the house as you can, and kind of being like, all right, well, here's this one room that we haven't cleared and the door's closed. Like, my little baby drone that weighs 2 ounces can't open this door, right? And we send the robot in, and robot tries to do its thing. It's like, oh, we can't really do the thing with it. So it's definitely gives you a lot more situational awareness and I took that for granted. With once we started really getting into it, I was like, hey, this is pretty sweet. Like, I don't have to tie up one of my team guys to, you know, fly one of these things or drive one of these things. So it's been awesome. What about you?
Well, I kind of have to go back to the military days when we also had military. So as soon as I got there, it was like I was an OIF 5, right? So OIF 5 is little like middle late of the Iraq push, right? So when I first get there, all our Humvees are up armored. They have the V-shaped bottoms because they're doing the EFPs and stuff like that. But the gunner turrets were actually robotic, to where the gunner's inside the vehicle, so you have one less person that's inside that vehicle, and you're using kind of like a controller to turn, and you have night vision and everything. Like,
so the dude that's in the turret has no control over where the gun points at.
yeah, so there's no guy in the turret anymore. It's just it's either the pig or the saw.
All right, that's
up
fair.
on there on a row on a turret that moves like this, and you're inside the vehicle.
Yeah.
And if you want to look to the right, you move the stick to the right, and then you want to shoot, you hit the red button.
I'm tracking.
You know what I mean? So
I thought
it's almost like cheating. You know what I mean?
This is where my dumb brain went. Right, like I'm the remote guy, and you're in the turret. And if we had beef, I'd be like, "We have contact, right? Oh, my bad. I put you the wrong way with your back exposed, bro. Sorry." That's what I thought.
That would be pretty funny. I did have a dude named Sterling as my gunner.
Terrible.
And he took a rifle. He took a sniper round right past his face. It was pretty funny. They had the thick glass on, and he's like, "Hey, they're shooting at me," and that's the way he talks. I think I just got shot at. I'm like, well, shoot back, bro. What is wrong with you? He's like, I don't know where it came from. So I get on the radio. I was like, hey, I think we're taking rounds, and it ended up being like blue on blue, but it was just a single round that had like ricocheted off and came over towards them. And I was like, bro, I mean, if you're taking something, hit it. You know what I mean? But I mean, then even on patrol, when I worked patrol, we had drones. So we had a drone guy. Right. So if a guy runs in the backyard and we set up the block, and we didn't have overhead from a helicopter,
like a ghetto bird.
Yeah, a ghetto bird. You know, because they had come from county. We're not like a LAPD.
Yeah.
We had to get it, even though they're always over Richmond because stuff's always happening. But sometimes inclement weather and all that kind of stuff, they weren't able to come over there. So we had a guy be able to see us. I mean, I can't count how many times that saved us.
Yeah.
You know. I mean, they count me. I mean, the last time the bird was overhead, it caught me in a chase and like fighting with this dude, and you know, and it almost cost us the case because the pilots were like, "Oh yeah, these guys are going to kill these guys" and stuff. I mean, just little comments like that. You know what I mean? Then you have like officers on, you know, fighting against these guys and stuff like that because they're fighting over guns and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But so I had that technology in my head. I was like, oh, the technology's bad, and we just came out with cameras, body worn cameras and all that kind of stuff, you know. So it's like all this stuff is happening so fast, and the evolution of policing and law is turning over so fast. So I had that in the back of my head, and then we get there. First couple times we're running and stuff, we're stumbling. I was like, this is never going to work. How do you talk to an inanimate object, and how do you get that to work? How do they know I'm going to take this corner hard? How do they know I'm going to go in the least passive resistance? So I'm going to come over and button hook.
Yeah.
How do they know? They don't. Right. Then they're standing in the hallway and all that kind of stuff. But eventually we got it to where, hey, I give you this, and now we're going to end up like training other teams to work with these things. But it's like, hey, you know, we're training those guys just as much. So now they're becoming a little bit more proficient in entries as well, because they're basically another piece to be able to get us intel,
more eyes on.
Yep. And because the evolution has gone from just kicking the door in, standing in front of the door, to not standing in the death funnel, then surround and call out. Like FBI, that's basically, I mean, they're doing it down range.
Yeah.
Surround and call out. We're dynamic. We hit the door, we go in, and we clear the house all the way up.
Yep.
You know, so if we're going all the way to that direct threat, but if we can have something that's flying ahead of us, why not?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a cause for everything, you know.
No, I agree. I think the big thing that like I was kind of the same way, like, oh, what's this technology look like, kind of thing. And I think that their abilities as pilots is ridiculous. I remember that it just popped in my brain as we were talking. Like, I pushed open a door and had one of those like automatic closure things. And I remember the drone coming in to go clear the room, and the door started closing faster than I had anticipated because I pushed it a little harder than I thought I did. And it was probably like a 3-4 inch gap, whatever you tell 3 or 4 inches. Anyways, drone's flying in normal, and as the door's closing, it goes whoop, goes to the door, and then levels back out. And I was like, I thought that thing was going to get like, caught, but it was just like whap, whap, just super efficient. And so like even when like we were working to the room entry piece, like they were able to get out of our way faster than I would have anticipated them to be able to move, because just like their skill set is on a different level, to where even if like we had gotten to where we were moving pretty hot through the building and like kind of getting a rhythm, getting a vibe going, and they were just like, cool, bro, like I can fly this drone at 70 miles an hour and then through air ducts. Like,
I mean, they're looking at us like, why'd you go in that room?
Like, why are you going so slow? Yeah, why are you going so slow? Yeah. It's like racing your kid when they're like 3 or 4 and you're like, and like I felt like the little kid, right? Trying to race dad, like, I want to foot race you. And like I'm moving my legs like 1,000 miles an hour. And he looks back like 2 steps, like jogging.
Not even out of breath.
What are you doing? So that's how I felt with the drones.
But even going back to like the canine analogy, right? You can talk, you can give the dog commands, and you can train it off its drive to do the things that you kind of want it to do, but you don't know what it's going to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it took me a good year to learn my dog. You know, to learn what because my dog tried to cheat. He thought, oh, if I do this, I'm going to get rewarded. So I'm going to, give a false alert. And it's like, nah, player, that's not the way it works. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we ain't doing that.
But with the drone, I can talk to the pilot afterwards. I'd be like, hey, this is what we're going with training and stuff like that. Yeah, he did the AAR, the after action review. And then like, hey, this is what I'm saying. This is why my body moved like this.
Yeah.
And this is what I think you should do. Then he's like, hey, this is what I saw because I have a limited peripheral vision. And now I know that your indication, that's what you want to do. I'll do this. And I was like, yeah, that worked perfect.
Yep. No, I was super impressed. I think it was good. So, but yeah, it was
I think it's an awesome concept. I think it's the evolution of it's just another evolution of entry training.
Yeah, 100%.
And, I mean, everybody has it nowadays.
Yeah.
So
it was a game changer. So
I don't even know what we're going to talk about next week.
I don't either. Hopefully
this is working.
My goal is to tap into and this is not meant as like a derogatory statement, right? Because I love nerds and we need nerds. And the reason I say nerds is because like I'm not good with smart things. So I need to get my nerd vibe on, right? And start working through some of this audio software stuff, and then we'll get it all buttoned up.
Hopefully, I mean, because we've been working on it for like a week, and I guarantee it's just one plug or one program.
Yeah,
like that.
So like even we were talking earlier, like I had the audio out from the mixer going into the computer was not the audio out.
Yeah.
It was the power source plugged into the audio out. So the audio out is going to the plug that plugs into the stupid power strip that powers the stupid thing. And then the power strip plug was plugged into the it was in wrong.
Yeah.
I'm dumb.
Whatever.
That's all there is to it. I'm going to try to be and try to be less dumb.
Well,
and we'll get all this cool fun stuff.
Well, how bad would it be if we did this whole thing and then the audio went out like halfway through?
Stop it.
I'm just throwing it out there. How bad would that be? That'd be horrible. It'll almost be as bad as you guys looking as high speed you were when we were doing the training for Mithril. And I had my old like Hitler era
World War
II K-Pod.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so bad I went out and bought another one.
Your Vietnam jungle boots.
It was bad. Everybody was like, "Hey, bro, why'd you bring that?"
It's 2025, homie. Just saying.
It survived me this long. You know what I mean?
The 90s.
I had that since I was in the military, man.
I know.
You know,
even
on the
we could tell.
I had a Winston Churchill sign my helmet. You know, signed
80-pound NVGs.
Yep.
Like
Audie Murphy signed my helmet. The greatest soldier ever. Audie Murphy signed my stuff. It was high speed back then.
Oh,
I don't know
man.
what it is nowadays. It's not even low speed, bro. It's like you might as well just wear a baseball cap.
It's like
or
those
something.
license plate on those old cars that says like classic.
That is not a
It's like
classic.
it's classic.
It's like
you
an
get
80s.
classic license plates. Yeah,
It's like an
that's what
85 IROC.
Yeah,
You're trying
yeah.
to say it's a classic?
Yeah.
No way.
It's like, okay, cool.
So it's kind of messed up. So I wanted to get an old school. It's a 1973 C10. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get a C10. And my buddy Riri, he LS swapped a Camaro and everything like that. So he's pretty deep in the game. He's like, oh, you want to get a truck, huh? What kind of truck you want to get? And I was like, oh, I was thinking about a step side. He's like, of course you would. I was like, what do you mean? What are you saying? He's like,
Whoa. I like me a step side, square body step side. It's got to be 4-wheel drive though. None of that 2-wheel drive stuff.
but he's saying people like me always get step sides instead of. He's like, no, you want a fleet side. So
'Cause you're
that
right.
whole well, I wanted a Chevelle, and he's like, you guys all have Chevelles. You know what I mean? So I was like, that is
Should
true.
be like a '96 Impala SS,
96. Oh, that was
like
yeah, like Ice Cube.
Yeah.
That would be legit. So there was a SS Trailblazer I wanted to get, and I told the kid, I was like, if you're ready to sell this, give it to me. I'll buy it from you. So it broke down. I was like, yes, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And like a week, he was driving his Charger. Like a couple of days after that and stuff like that. I was like, hey man, let me know when you want me to sell it. I'll buy it. And then like a week later, he's like, oh, guess what? I was like, what? He's like, I sold it. I was like, I wanted to punch that dude in the face so bad. I was like, I told you I would have bought that.
Yeah.
That SS Trailblazer, bro, that's legit.
Like
That's
the S10, like the S10.
no
SS?
S10. It's like a little Jimmy kind of. It's a
Like
a
the full
SUV.
size?
It's
Like
a
the full
SUV.
size?
No, it's a midsize.
Like the 2-door,
There are 2 doors. Yeah.
but not like the S10 size Blazer. Because I remember like when they came out like the S10, it was like the little bit like the Tacoma size truck,
Nah.
like those like S10 Blazers.
No.
Okay. All right.
Mm-mm. It's
You get
actually
cool points
it's
back.
a
like
man
the,
one.
It's
you
like
know?
a a
That's-
2-door Tahoe.
Honestly, it's one of the
Yeah,
coolest
like the
LS
two-door
hot
Tahoes.
rods
Yeah,
ever.
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's legit.
It's fair.
But my dream car is a '67 Chevelle.
I'm gonna have to Google this later.
So,
I'll have to Google this
hey
later.
man, it's once you get in that world,
I know.
it's over.
That's what I'm afraid of. So
That got us both.
surprise.
Surprise, dude! I got this tattoo, and then like the plastic piece is coming off. So I'm like I've been burning this whole time. Like I hope ink's not coming out. I don't want it to dry out too bad. So I
What
gotta
tattoo?
go on my leg. It's almost like a tramp stamp, so high, right?
Let's see it.
Right? You have to. Oh yes,
Oh yeah,
got the Mandalorian on there. How many people know about the Mandalorian?
probably a lot.
Well, I don't
There's
know.
a lot of Star Wars nerds out
A lot
there.
of people never
I
think
almost changed it to saying Star Trek nerds.
Star Trek. How dare
because
you.
of that reaction.
That's actually a cult too, though.
I know, 100%.
They'll come after you, bro. They're gonna
I
find
know.
out where you live, and they're gonna be
I know.
outside your house. Well, I don't know what else to say.
I don't know what
man.
else. Like my brain is done. We have an outro,
What is
so I can't think right now.
it? I don't know.
So I don't know.
Start training up for drones. The new evolution of
Yeah.
tactics and entry training is coming. Look into Guardian Campus Angel, especially.
Wow, that was way wrong. Campus Guardian Angels.
Campus- what did I
Guardian
say?
Campus Angel.
Well, I was thinking about Guardians of the Galaxy. That's like the perfect.
You're on some like Marvel movie shit.
Yeah, but what
Yeah.
is the dude? Then he's like
Lord of
"This
the
is-"
Rings. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
fuck
where
that.
that's where the
No,
original
hell
name
no.
came from.
No, but when he was talking about that is, but the
mithril?
the
Yeah.
armor.
Yeah.
But I'm
I
talking
get it.
about
I
like
get it.
when Thor is talking to Star Lord, and he's like, "This is my ship. I am the leader. This is what I talk like."
Oh, he's like, I'm the captain. He's
Yeah,
like,
I
"Of
am
course
the
you are."
captain.
Yeah,
He's
course you
like,
are.
you don't talk like
Yeah.
that. But that's what I was thinking of for some reason. But was it Campus Guardian Angel?
Campus Guardian Angel.
Campus
Yeah.
Guardian
Yeah,
Angel
that's
to protect the little kids in the campuses. It's a good idea. It's not any privacy that's gonna take away from anybody. It's because it only comes out during an emergency.
Yeah,
and
check
you
out their
want-
program.
You want to give us all the upper hand that we can going into any situation, especially when it involves little kids, because they have a lot more life to live than we have.
Yep. And
You
we'll
know?
drop a link in the description of the website, all that good stuff for them. Big shout out to Wiley X again.
If you're trying to shoot plus 10,
Oh,
on your shooting qual, or if you have trouble qualifying
Yep.
for like SWAT or your department, Wiley X, I guarantee you with their Blu-ray,
Oh, the
we'll
iPro.
guarantee you get that
it's
extra.
a game changer. Yeah.
We're
So
trying to
use-
do that video, but
Use promo
that
code
didn't happen.
303 train 15, 15% off sunglasses, iPro, swag, whatever you want. We'll drop their link in the description as well, and then the Roll How I Roll Fitness for the fitness piece to get your game right, whether it's nutrition, working out, all that good stuff. Isaiah will get you squared away. I don't think we did the intro piece for our names, but I'm Bo. That's Isaiah. We do things and stuff.
One of us, or all of us,
So
both of us,
I don't know what else we got. But
every one of us.
as always, Isaiah and some of the guys like to do the plug, right? The day chooses you. So
I wouldn't have. I thought you were showing the watch.
oh
We have the same watch, and you over here the day chooses. Like, I don't have that tattoo. I have the watch. The whiskey's kicking in, bro. That 1693 whiskey's kicking in.
I'm done. I can't brain anymore.
We just hope that this is actually there.
Yeah.
Cut.